No one on our team thought things would escalate this far. At first, it was just scattered tracks, a small patch of land torn up, a few half-eaten fruits. But within weeks, those marks connected, forming trails, then clear pathways. And that meant one thing. Not just one, but multiple sounders of feral hogs had chosen this place as a feeding ground. If we didn't stop it quickly, it wouldn't just be one crop lost. The farmers could lose the entire season. That afternoon, the traps went in. Not just one location, but multiple points cutting across the hogs' movement routes. And when night fell, everything began. We didn't have to wait long. About 15 minutes after setup, the first group appeared. They moved slowly, big ones, small ones, staying close together, calm, unhurried, like they knew this land by heart. The bait drew them in, heads down, feeding, until bang, the gate dropped. The sound shattered the silence of the night, followed instantly by chaos inside the enclosure. Bodies slamming, circles of panic. That first moment had all of us holding our breath. Before things could even settle, while the pounding of hooves and metal still echoed, another trap, just a short distance away. Slam, a second capture, and this time bigger, heavier, a larger group. When confined, they didn't just ram, they pushed together. The steel frame shook, flexed, then snapped back. This is the difference between catching individuals and catching a full group. With enough numbers, the force multiplies. And if your system isn't strong enough, you lose everything. We kept waiting because we knew the night wasn't over. Right on cue, the thermal camera to the north picked up another group already inside a trap. But look closely, one mature hog stayed outside, watching, smelling, calculating. In cases like this, waiting for a single cautious animal can cost time, and worse, trigger suspicion in the group. We made the call, dropped the gate, click. The ones inside were secured. The outsider escaped. But remember this, no trapping system is ever 100% perfect. The next evening, we were back on watch, because they always return. Around 9:16 p.m., another group. Mixed sizes, more cautious this time, stopping, smelling the ground. A typical response after partial capture. Suspicion, but not enough to stay away. And then, the moment they let their guard down. Feeding, relaxed, bang. First group of the night, secured. Less than an hour later, another group approached a trap at the forest edge. But this time, something was different. They weren't uniform. Different coat colors, different sizes. This meant multiple smaller groups had merged. And that's the most dangerous scenario, because there's no shared rhythm. Each animal reacts differently. Timing becomes everything. We waited, watched, and then pressed the trigger. The gate dropped. Instant chaos. They charged the steel walls with full force. All that pressure hitting the structure at once. If the frame failed, we don't even want to imagine what would happen next. Almost simultaneously, another trap triggered nearby. This time, we moved in immediately. Flashlights cut through the dark. Inside, the animals surged, running in circles, changing direction, slamming into corners and bouncing back. This wasn't random panic. It was instinct searching for a weak point. That's why we check at night. Not for the count, but for control. The next morning, We made another round. Some traps still held additional animals. They were exhausted, still running, still pushing. But the aggression had faded. Fatigue had taken over. 1. By midday, transport began. Quick, but controlled. Each latch checked again. Each enclosure secured. Then one by one, the traps were moved out of the fields. Clean, efficient, by the book. That marked the end of a multi-day operation to stop crop destruction. For us, this isn't hunting. It's an ongoing battle. Every night, the animals adapt. And if we don't adapt with them, one small mistake is enough to undo everything.
Hip. Shut it. Ah, dang.
I've lived in Columbus, Georgia for more than 20 years, and I never thought there would come a day when I'd have to guard my farm like a battlefield. Everything started with just a few strange tracks in the field. I ignored them until the next morning when the entire crop was torn apart as if a storm had ripped through overnight. Then they came back, not one, but an entire herd of wild hogs. They smashed fences, tore up the soil, and trampled the harvest I'd spent months caring for. And I realized one thing: if I didn't stop them right now, I was going to lose everything. The first traps were set right along the forest edge, where the hogs usually poured out each night. Not placed randomly, not done in haste. Every location was carefully studied, based on the herd's familiar travel routes. But trapping only at the edge was not enough. Deeper inside the forest, more zones began to be secured as well. Transit points, trails, resting spots, feeding grounds, all of it was gradually brought into the control system. A network was taking shape. We split into teams. Each person was given a role. Everything moved quickly. Once the traps were in place, technology entered the operation. Motion sensor cameras were installed. Automatic target recognition systems recorded every animal that appeared. Every movement was tracked. Every time the herd returned, we had data. No more guessing. No more passive reactions. Everything now was under our control. And after a period of monitoring, we kept bait inside while the trapdoors remained open, watching everything through our devices. When the moment came and the whole herd naturally gathered inside to feed, I looked at my father and knew everything was ready. The decisive moment had arrived. Just one button. The enclosed system activated instantly. Escape routes were blocked almost at the same time. No gaps, no way back. Bang! The drop gate slammed shut with incredible speed. Inside, the wild hogs immediately fell in a panic. They scattered, spun in circles, searched every direction for a way out. But every path led to the same ending. A closed circle, no matter how intelligent they were. They gradually lost all sense of direction. Within minutes, the resistance began to fade. No more desperate charges. No more clear attempts to escape. The entire herd was contained inside the trap system. It was over. I looked at my father, and everyone there let out a breath of relief. That same night, reports came in from every other trap we had placed. They had all been triggered, capturing many more targets waiting for their chance to destroy farms and neighborhoods. No one needed to say anything, but everyone understood. After that night, the whole community would finally sleep in peace, no longer fearing their crops would be ruined again. But the most important thing was never the trap. It was the way the community chose to act. The individuals causing the greatest damage were selected first and dealt with through humane, swift, and carefully controlled methods. No chaos, no extremism, just responsible action to avoid unnecessary panic for the animals while bringing real economic relief to local families. This approach was never about wiping them out entirely, but about reducing risk while still respecting ecological balance. And it was true. After that night, silence returned. No more tangled tracks every morning. No more torn up soil after every dark night. But what truly changed was the way people faced the problem. No more rushed reactions. No more isolated efforts. Instead, observe, understand, then act at the right moment. Because in situations like this, the most important decision is not how fast you act, is whether you have enough patience to wait for the right time. Truly was a nightmare. Although I'm a specialist on a rapid response team for wild boar damage control in Arizona, I will never forget that day. Around 6 a.m., we received a call from a corn farmer about 20 kilometers outside the city center. He had discovered fresh signs of wild boars inside his fields and needed us there immediately. I knew it was another mission, but I had no idea it would become one of the most difficult operations I would ever face. After examining the tracks and damage left behind, I initially decided to deploy a small drop door trap, a single steel frame cage measuring approximately 1.2 m x 2 m. It's suitable when dealing with a small group of 2 to 3 animals. For bait, we place fermented corn mixed with grains and molasses inside. On the first night, we didn't expect much, so we didn't actively monitor the live camera feed. The next morning, we reviewed the footage. At 11:47 p.m., 4 wild boars were already crowded inside the trap. Each was about 1 meter long and weighed roughly 50 kilograms. Instead of feeling relieved, I felt uneasy. For animals in a small trap wasn't good news. It meant they were extremely hungry. And if 4 had shown up, there were certainly more nearby. I immediately went through all the camera data. Wild boars were appearing throughout the night from multiple directions, east side of the farm, south side of the farm. Just as I suspected, the number was shocking. They moved near the property as if it were their own territory, feeding freely, roaming confidently, and disappearing before sunrise. That's when I realized my first mistake. The small trap had underestimated the scale of the problem. The next day, I switched tactics. We installed large circular steel corral traps, nearly 40 meters in diameter and about 3 meters high. These traps were equipped with 2 one-way doors. The animals could push their way in, but once inside, they couldn't push the doors open to escape. This time, we didn't place the bait in the center. Instead, we scattered bait from outside the trap leading inward, creating a natural feeding trail that gradually guided them inside.